What's going on, guys? Rob A here, and today we're taking a look at Transformers Titans Return, Powermaster Optimus Prime, and Autobot Apex. Now this is the leader class Optimus Prime from the Titans Return line. He's got some hollow forearms. It's a little weird because it's pretty very obvious, but I'm gonna try and hold my judgment until I have the actual figure in hand, messing around with it a little bit more, so I'm not just making snap judgments like that. But this is obviously the leader class Optimus Prime figure. He's got a bunch of weapons, it looks like, stuck on his arms and everywhere. A blaster in his hand, a blaster up here. He's got guns on his shoulders. So this guy is pretty well kitted out. I've heard tell that this is a remold of the Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus leader class figure. I don't have that one, so I can't really say, I'm not going to be able to really compare it for you. So you'll just have to kind of use your judgment based on what you see in the video. But on the back here, it does show, obviously you can see it's very similar, the vehicle mode cab at the very least. But this is certainly more filled out and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think he looks like a really decent Powermaster Optimus Prime. Like I said, I do not have Ultra Magnus, but I do have J1 Powermaster Optimus Prime, and this guy looks like a really nice version of that. So there is a little bio here, as well as all this other stuff, which I'll show you in just a minute. Optimus Prime will stand against any threat. Autobot Apex helps him face the enemies that even the Autobot Commander cannot face alone. The Titan Master carries a portion of the spark and power of Optimus Prime, increasing the legendary warrior's already immense strength, speed, and intelligence. So, alright, so, yeah, he's got double spark. He's got twice as much spark as regular Optimus Prime. So as you can see, his Titan Master looks like a very nice kind of Orion Pax face. I think that's a pretty cool design that they did there. And his robot mode looks, I don't know if that's supposed to be, it looks kind of Alpha Trion-y, if I'm just to throw it out there. But as you can see, his cab does open up. You can put the Titan Master inside there. And he does have a city mode as well, so take that for what it is. It looks like a really heavily armed base is basically just weapons platform basically. Over here it shows you that he works with all of the other Titan Masters stuff, and right here it says connects to Fortress Maximus figures sold separately. On the bottom we just have some blop blop blop, and on the side here we just have more of the same art that we see here. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this guy open and we will check him out right now. Alright guys, so here we have Powermaster Optimus Prime, and before we get into him, I want to show you guys really quickly, this is his collector card that he comes with. It's a nice thick cardstock, pretty nice illustration here of Powermaster Prime, and on the back it of course shows you Prime's stats, which are all actually a little bit lower than we're used to seeing in an Optimus Prime for base stats. Prime is usually just tapped out all the 10s, with maybe speed being at a 9. But here he's actually, he's 10 in strength and intelligence, but speed and firepower are both at 8, which is very interesting. But of course, once he adds Autobot Apex, of course, kind of giving homage to the Apex armor, he does get Apex armored up, and then he's like 15, and he's 12s and 15s for everything. So there you go, Powermaster Optimus Prime. Anyway, let's get into the figure itself. This is the vehicle mode, and yes, it is a a retooling of leader class Ultra Magnus. Again, I don't have that figure, so I can't compare the two completely, but I would guess offhand that this guy is quite different. I'm going to guess that not a lot of the parts are actually shared, because this guy looks really uniquely Powermaster Prime. And I believe Magnus had like more of a car carrier trailer, not so much like, a trailer. So that's, that's pretty cool. Even if some of the parts are like, the same idea, design, whatever, it's nice that they kind of put a different spin on most of them. You can still put stuff in the back here. So, if you want to transport around all of your Titan Master figures, you can, of course, stick those all in the back here. Just close this guy up. So you can still, you know, dump a bunch of stuff in there. You get all your, there you go, all your little cassette guys, and just stick them right in the back, and that'll hold you until they, you know, fall out of the front. But anyway, get those guys out of the frame. So yeah, I mean, it's a really nice homage to Powermaster Prime from back in the day. I haven't messed with him in quite a while, but the minute I took this guy out of the package, I was like, yeah, okay, this feels about the same. This feels good, like, you know, this feels right, like that. So I'm definitely pleased as far as that goes. I'm not sure why this guy's not, okay. These back wheels are not quite touching the ground. There we go. There we go. So yeah, he's got some nice weapons. He comes with a lot of guns. So these two main cannons here on the side, and then of course his robot mode guns, which can also be deployed in vehicle mode. And he has some more connecting points here on the sides. Actually, you could even connect them to these guns on the side as well. They have multiple connection points. So pretty cool stuff. He also has, it's a little harder to see here, but he also does have a lot of little points here where you can actually attach Titan Masters to the truck itself. You know, kind of all over, even on the cab, the top of the cab, he's got them, and on the sides here. Just basically everywhere there was extra room, even on the, you know, even on these sides here, which are going to be utilized more in the base mode, which we'll get into in just a moment. But yeah, really nice use of the Ultra Magnus mold, and I think they did a great job kind of making it its own figure. So we're going to go ahead and actually transform this guy into his base mode first, because it's a little bit closer to the vehicle mode, and it's not that exciting, so I kind of want to end, you know, on a little bit of a higher note, I guess, would be the whole thing. So what we're going to do for base mode, if I can remember exactly how to do this correctly, we want to go ahead and bring that in like so, and we're going to go ahead and grab, basically start transforming him a little bit here. Just going to bring these pieces up like so. Can I get the arms out of the way? Detach the side panels from the truck here, like so. Can I get all this stuff out of the way? And, whoops, I'm doing this wrong, guys. Alright, we're just going to flip this in like so. Okay, and then flip his legs around thusly, and just kind of straighten out these panels so they go like straight back, and then you can flip these in. Alright, so get all this stuff going like so. Again, just kind of bring it straight back, and put these in again. Alright, and that's pretty much the start of the base mode right there. And what I like to do is actually flip these, kind of angle these down a little bit, just to kind of get them a little bit more out of the way, kind of make them fit in a little bit more with everything. So the arms are actually going to come out to the sides like so, and they're just going to kind of stick straight up in the air, just like that. So not much going on there. We're going to flip this panel up here, and then this bit actually has little feet underneath that are going to come down. You're just going to sit it down there on those feet, and that's pretty much the base mode right there. And then you could just attach the guns however you see fit, like so. And where do you want to attach these guys? Probably down here. Oh my goodness, I'm having a like a rough time today apparently. There we go. I don't know if you guys can also see this, but they've got the little molded in muffler or exhaust that kind of homage like Armada Prime a little bit on the arms, which I thought was a pretty cool touch. So it's very Prime-y. So yeah, that's pretty much what you're getting out of the base mode for this guy. Not really much to say about it, really. I mean, this little thing up here could act as like a shield for one of the larger figures, you know, if you had, you know, Wheelie or something like that. But other than that, I mean, there's not really much going on here. You can attach the sides of this thing to Fortress Maximus. You could attach it to a Blaster just by kind of, you know, straightening this out and sort of putting it aside because it'll attach here at these connection points. But really not much by way of a base mode, which is fine because the toy originally was not designed with any kind of base mode in mind. So, you know, to have it kind of legitimately tacked on is fine because it doesn't actually really detract from any of the other modes of the figure, so it's really not that big of a deal. So it's fine, whatever. So yeah, now we're going to actually transform this guy back into robot mode. Now before we transform this guy into robot mode, I do want to kind of take a moment to show you guys Apex here. I'll just pop him out and just leave that like so for the moment. So here's Apex. His little guy. His little Titan Master. I keep wanting to say Micron. I keep wanting to say Micro Master or Headmaster. Anything but Titan Master. But here he is. Very, like, I don't know, very Alpha Trion-y looking to me. But again, I don't know. And of course, the head itself, which is very Orion Pax looking. A very young looking Prime, innocent in his eyes and his ways. Oh, if only he knew. If only he knew. So we'll put this guy aside for right now. And basically, to transform this guy into robot mode, let's start with the legs first, because they're pretty much there already. So we're just going to straighten them out. We're going to go ahead and flip this around. Well, we got to get his feet out first. So we're going to flip his feet out. We're going to bring them all the way around and all the way to the front, just like so. I'm going to flip this panel around and then flip it around again, and it's just going to connect right on the side there. And again, we'll do the same with the other leg. Just bring the foot around. This panel just comes around and then stays just there. Alright, now we're actually going to need to bring his legs back a little bit, because this whole midsection is going to bend right here at this area. And there you go. So that's going to flip right up. Now here's a cool thing, and I want to try and get my camera sort of angled up to accommodate it. So the truck, the cab of the truck itself is actually going to, well, you want to flip in the little feet first, because that's going to help. We're going to unpeg the cab and then swing it around and then swing it down, and that's going to connect in here. And want to open up the middle of the cab itself and bring out the Prime helmet and just kind of unfold that all, just kind of spaghetti it out. It's a new term. You may not have heard it a lot yet, but you will soon. Spaghettied out. And then flip up the kind of the Motormaster looking chest plate that they, you know, molded to kind of go over this. I think that looks really, really cool. And then basically we'll just fold the arms down, take out these guns, and we'll put the other guns back in. Come on, buddy. You guys can kind of see the biggest problem I have with this figure already, I think. And we'll just attach these guns to his arms. Come on, come on, come on. Get in. There you go. And the guns on his arms do have little seats for the Titan Masters. I didn't show that off before, but it's not really that exciting. And then just pop Orion packs, or Apex, I'm sorry. Pop him in if he wants to pop in. Come on, bud. There you go. I was going at it the wrong angle. And he's got a little peanut head. And it's exciting. And then, much like Blaster, he's got little bits here that are going to come in and plug into the back of Apex's legs and really hold that all in place. And then you just bring the helmet down and you've got Prime. Primed and ready to go. No pun intended. So, here is Powermaster Optimus Prime. And he's big, he's beefy, and he's got some problems, which we'll explain. So, overall, I mean, he looks really cool. He looks very Powermaster Optimus Prime. It looks like a lovely update to the figure, to the character. And on many levels, it works fine. And I'll show you guys some articulation here. He does have little flaps on his shoulders to kind of allow these blasters to move out of the way if he's going to move his arms up. So that's great. His arms can go, you know, all the way around, whatever you want to do with those. He does have bicep swivels. He does have elbows. He's got closing hands and, you know, very weirdly hollow forearms, which, you know, kind of just forget about right now. And I've heard there was a lot of problems with Ultra Magnus holding his weapons. Prime doesn't really have that problem because he's got this little groove in the panel behind his hand, so you can actually basically just kind of jam the jam the blaster into his hand or into that panel, and then he holds it, you know, holds his weapons with no problem. So yeah, there's not any trouble with him holding weapons. That's all fine. He's got very, you know, nice ratcheting legs, hips, front, back, side. Back's a little bit hampered there. He does have a thigh swivel. His legs, his knees can bend like so. He's got a nice, very wide range of motion front to back with his feet. But here's the biggest problem with this figure. He does not have ankle tilts, which, you know, I understand that it's, you know, that's not something that necessarily has ever been like a standard in figures, but something this size with his legs that transform the way they do, they did cut his feet at an angle. You can see his feet are cut at an angle, but it's not nearly enough. So he is not flat-footed now. His feet are coming off of the table, and his legs are like clunking together because he just can't stand up straight. Like, he needs to be at a pretty wide A stance for these legs to kind of get out of their own way. And even then, it doesn't really work, and his feet just are like just standing on the edges of his feet. So that's kind of a big problem. It really hinders his posability in a lot of ways. Like, you know, you want him to kind of hold a pose, and he just ends up looking funny, and he can't really, you know, he can't have one leg to the side and one leg forward because his legs are really, really wide, and they get in the way a lot. So that's led to a lot of, you know, kind of little nitpicks with the figure, and I think that's honestly its biggest downfall. Outside of that, I mean, it's a pretty solid figure. There's no waist swivel, unfortunately, but, you know, that's due to a lot of it due to you know, transformation. He does have a little peg for that flight stand, you know, if you want your Powermaster Prime to like do sweet jumps or something like that. But I mean, it's a really nice figure outside of that whole leg thing, but that leg thing is a kind of a glaring issue. Honestly, I thought this leader figure was going to be my favorite out of the two, but honestly, Blaster was a very pleasant surprise and is easily my favorite of the Titans Return leaders thus far. So, other than that, it is a decent figure. I don't want to say it's not, but that leg thing is legit issue, and it may be, you know, an issue that's going to be, you know, kind of a deal breaker for some of you, and I couldn't really defend that. I mean, it's totally within your right. But for me, I mean, it's still a fun figure. The base mode is like meh, but the vehicle mode's cool, and the robot mode's cool. He just has a hard time not looking goofy standing up, which, you know, is a problem. But anyway, that's going to do it for this review, guys. I want to thank you so very much for watching, as always. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. It really does help me out. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more. I will have more Titans Return figures coming as soon as I am able, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next one. Why doesn't this guy want to work? Bye for now. Yeah, wait, not until I get this to work correctly. Yeah. There we go. Doesn't look like anything. Bye, guys.